doing that with these people that you're.
We're going to eat lunch with him.
Who is it?
T-Money.
Who the hell's that?
You remember he got on that live one day? Who the hell's this guy? I'm like, T-Money.
Yeah. How'd you find this guy?
Yeah.
T-Money. You think he's on here today?
I think he actually gets on his own.
Every now and then. T-Money. What's his real first name?
Tommy.
Tommy. What's his last name? There was something weird about his name, I thought.
Yeah, it's like Toronto, I think. I just call him T-Money because I couldn't pronounce his last name.
T-Money. I like it. If you're on here, T-Money, let us know. I hear you're going to lunch today. Nathan, hey, Nathan's on here. Look, should we even allow Nathan on our stream? You know what? He's probably going to disconnect it somehow. I got a feeling we're going to have a flat tire over it. Amanda, good morning. Cousin Noah, thank you for getting on here. Every single day, Monday through Friday, we do the morning grind. I apologize. Do I sound a little rough this morning?
No, you sound great.
I appreciate it. How do I sound? Thank you very much. Cameron, is that how you say it? Cameron?
Cameron.
Well, what is it spelled?
You say Cameron.
Thank you, Ronnie Martin. Hey, my favorite banker is on here, Ronnie Martin. You know Ronnie Martin, don't you? We're going to get started into real estate talk in just a second. But if you're somebody and you're trying to buy multiple parcels of real estate, duplexes, or if you're trying to grow a portfolio, Ronnie Martin is my guy, the only guy I recommend. So thank you for getting on here, Ronnie Martin. 60 seconds of gratitude. I'm very thankful for Ronnie Martin. That's who I'm going to be thankful for this morning. Ronnie, me and him went to high school together, graduated. We've got a long history together. But back when I was in just like the financial worst time of my life, Ronnie was like the one person that I would call, and he was helping me transform my way out of it. We would talk. He did a lot of educating. During that time, I really learned a lot about finance, about what is it going to take for me to be able to buy something. So I could really, whenever I take a deal to Ronnie that I wanted, I already know if I can do it or not. I already know. And whenever he tells me, no, we can't do it, I'm like, I didn't think we could. I already knew we couldn't do it. So I would have never known that if I didn't have somebody like Ronnie that would take time. Like I was going to the Mac in the mornings, and Ronnie, he was just a hard grinder. He would be at the time he was working at First Bank, and he would always put his truck right up front. You know why? Why? So everybody knew he was working. His truck was always up front. And I'm pulling up to the light, and I'm like, damn, there's Ronnie. I'd call him. He'd answer his phone. It'd be 6:57 on Saturday morning. I knew the time because I had to be at the gym at 7 o'clock. He would always answer the phone, and he would give me 15 or 20 minutes, and we would just talk about things. And every time I would say something, he had this unique ability to connect before he would correct. Connect, then correct. Agree, assure, transcend. Same thing. He would always say stuff like, hey, that's a good question. It's a dumbass question. You know, man, that's a good question. Well, yeah, I understand what you're trying to do. He could always add the assurance and the empathy, and I'd stay with him. Then he would say, well, let me tell you why that doesn't make sense. Let me tell you why that doesn't work. And it was something I learned how to communicate better, but also learned how am I going to become financially, what was the word you said yesterday?
Free.
Financially free. And at the top, I want to now be financially free and the top Spanish-speaking realtor in this town. That's my goal now.
Hold on.
All right, today's show topic. How did you word it, Van? Everybody get on here. Do me a favor. Like, comment, and share the stream. Andre, how was your golf match yesterday? How did we word it?
Why our local real estate market is not going down.
Why this ain't going down. So do me a huge favor. There's people out there that are naysayers. I want to prove my point. Me and Ronnie talked about that this morning. If you do not believe this market is going to continue to go up, just say, I don't believe it. If you think it will continue to go up, say it's going to continue to go up. We're specifically only talking about Middle Tennessee because the rules do not apply in other parts of the country. Right now, I do know some data that other people don't know. And I'm going to break down what's going on and why why I believe it's going to continue. I told everybody the story. 2011 and 12, REITs, private equity funds, were allowed to start buying residential properties. Before then, they had to buy like big bulks or commercial buildings. They were the reason that really sucked up all the inventory. And back then, there were probably 15, 16, 1,700 houses on the market back then. It was amazing how many houses were on the market.
In Murfreesboro?
Yes, it was unbelievable. It was so many houses on the market, like if you had a client, I don't know, think about this. If you're choosing from 15 houses that look the same, all you're going to do now is compare by price. Well, this one was 139, but that one over there was 137, and this one's better. Damn, this one just came on the market, now it's 134. So the longer they stalled, prices just continued to go down. Well, finally, these index funds just started buying up everything. They would come in and they would pay you. They would negotiate a contract. We'll pay you 139. They're a little bit smarter than the market at the time. They would negotiate after they were under contract. We'll pay you 139. We just need to do a little inspection, give us 10 days, and then we'll close and we're cash buyers. Sounded very good. It almost sounded too good to be true. So they would negotiate, then come back, look, we'll still buy your house, but we're going to need this. Instead of that, we'll just take a $5,000 price concession. They negotiated after contract. Now, that's what we kind of caught on to that. Have you noticed that? Or we're anticipating it. We're telling our clients, look, this is what they might do. So between that time and this time, they had specific parameters in which they would buy. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage at a certain square foot level. And they would come in and they would just start buying everything up. Something would come on the market. They would make an offer. You might make an offer. Their offer was always better. This went on for years. 3, 4, 5 years, they were buying up all the inventory, especially middle-class Murfreesboro homes. They were buying up all these, and then they had to stretch out a little bit. Over time, they went to 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1-car garage. Now it feels like they're buying any damn thing out there. They've actually transformed from this little equity group. Then you got Open Door, and then you got Offer Pads. You got all these iBuyers out there. Some have different intentions. Open Door's intention is to buy your house and then put it back on the market to resell it. That doesn't hurt our market like these equity funds do. The equity funds want to buy your house and then they want to put a renter in there. They're absorbing all the houses and they're not going back on the market because the returns they're getting their investors are so good it just makes sense to never sell. The other day there was a guy over here. He's one of them. He's an enemy. And I'm talking to him, and he's like, man, we are so dialed in on the southeast part of the country. We're so aggressive. We want to buy as much as we can. And guess what they're doing? So here's what we're doing. We are creating part of the problem. I am creating part of the problem. Let's say Cameron wants to sell his house, but he wants to buy a house. Sellers don't want to deal with a contingency. So what I've got a solution. I've got a solution. What is it?
Sell their house first and then buy.
Who would I sell it to?
Open Door or an investor.
I wouldn't sell it. I mean, I'm probably going to sell it to one of these REITs, okay? And they're going to buy your house, okay? And then they're going to put Liliana in it and they're going to rent it to her. It's never going on the market. So what it's doing, our inventory, look at our inventory levels. It's gone. I looked at something on Keeping Current Matters. Now it's different in different parts of the country. Murfreesboro, Tennessee is in a weird little bubble because of how many people are moving here. And if they're moving from California, it's easy for them to make sense of where the prices are and even where they're going. They're still chump change. Take into the other fact that the index funds or whatever we want to call them, they're buying up all of our inventory. Do you have a question?
Yeah. So what do you think the ratio? Because I've noticed just through making calls, there's so many people renting at this point. What do you think the ratio is to people that actually own them?
I think about 62% of people in the country own a house. And it's been in the mid-60s, and it's actually going down. So how did we get here? I've told you the scenario. Starting in the 50s, America would produce 20 million homes per decade. Just continuously putting out 20 million homes in the 50s, 20 million in the 60s, in the 70s, 80s, 90s. In 2010 to 2020, 5 million homes were produced. There's just not enough homes out there. So what has happened is there's more people fighting over less homes because not as many homes are being produced and so many homes are being rented right now. Yes, Mr. Blue.
Why is that?
Why is what?
Why was there only 5 million homes from 2010 to
Good question, because we were in the worst real estate economy since the Great Depression. Things were so bad. If I was a developer and I was developing a lot, I couldn't give them away. I couldn't give them away because there was absolutely no demand. And if the people wanted to buy something, Liliana was a developer and she had 40 lots available. You had 40 lots available. You had 40 lots available. You had 30. There was so many abundant lots for sale. Nobody had the certainty to buy anything. Developers were giving stuff back to the bank. Okay? So as these builders couldn't sell their house, they wouldn't build anything. They were going into foreclosure. So all these lots, Ronnie probably had to do a lot to do with this. He probably had a lot to do with working through foreclosures. Those lots, you had $50,000 of cost in your lot. The bank had to take them back, and guess what they're selling them to you for now?
no telling?
Well, guess.
A lot lower.
A lot lower. To get somebody to buy those lots, now we're going to give them for $25,000. Okay, so in this neighborhood where everybody was building their house on a $50,000 lot, their house was $300,000. Now you can come in there and build the same house for about $50,000 cheaper. That was going on, so it took a long time to go through all that. Builders, developers had no certainty. Now they have the certainty to do it. Now they can almost throw anything out there and it's going to sell because there's just not enough out. Then guess what? The pandemic hits. All these things just what it does, it just keeps pushing things down the line. The problem will come, by the way. There is going to be a problem. Whenever these equity funds stop buying stuff, whenever they do liquidate, that's when we really have to worry. But right now, they're not doing it because of all the demographic studies show them so many people are moving here. People are going to keep moving here, and they're going to continue to own houses if they can buy one. So hold on, sir. So the pandemic happens. It makes all the sense in the world to think there is no way during this crisis, nobody's going to have their job. I remember Van said, well, I'll be the first one to get fired. Do you remember saying that, Van? Oh, Van. Then I kept telling everybody, just do it for Van. Make your calls so Van don't get fired. So during the pandemic, it made all the sense in the world to believe, man, nobody's going to buy houses during this time. So all the mills, all the manufacturers, all the people that had anything to do with putting houses on the market, what they did, they stopped. People couldn't come into work. People, they wouldn't let us come into work. So we created this huge backlog. Now we've got this demand, but it's taken forever to catch up. Like right now, lumber continues to skyrocket. Like we're about to see another huge price increase. Prices are going to continue to go up. Inventories just were cut into less than half during the pandemic. You know why? Because people did not want to put their house on the market. They didn't want people coming in there. So what this has done, it's artificially, so you take into these factors. The iBuyers buy up all of our stuff. Then the pandemic comes and nobody wants to list. Right now, the other day I looked, I think there may have been 188 homes on the market. That's insane. I remember when there was 12 or 1,300. So here's what we need for this market to start slowing down on price appreciation. Number one, I do think over time interest rates will help, but it won't help as much as we think historically. Andre, it won't help as much as it has historically because middle class Murfreesboro is being consumed by the iBuyer. They don't care. They're just going to continue to buy it. Maybe they won't pay quite as much, but I don't see them slowing down. I don't see them slowing down in their offers. As the builders get more product out there, prices will continue to go up to where not as many people will probably rush out there and buy anything. Indicators the market is going to slow down is not just a feeling. Oh, hell, I mean, it's going up so much it's going to have to come down. Data. You got to look at data. Home inventory, like if you were to look at our charts, Like how low our inventory. If a house comes on the market at $399,000 today, what's going to happen?
It's gonna sell for probably 430, 440,
How many offers will there be?
15 plus.
Every new sale is a new comp. So that is let's say an 8% increase right there. Think about that. I see stuff going 8 to 10% above list price consistently. And I don't believe anybody in this market spends any more money on leads than I do. I mean, if I'm looking, I calculated we're about $20,000 a month now on buying leads with Zillow and the billboards and all the other things. That gives me a good grasp of what's going on in the market. And we get a ton of leads that come in here, but you guys have a hard time selling them something. Do you know why?
Because of the market.
There just ain't nothing to sell. The market is not going to start to go down until you guys can start, until there's more houses out there. I don't see that happening right now. As a matter of fact, the pandemic, what it did is it took a lot of houses off the market. It's going to take a while. So the people out there that say, man, those prices are going to come back down, they're not coming down. They're not going to come down. Who controls our market right now?
The REIT or the investors.
That's exactly right. Follow what the big guys are doing. The big guys have already made a commitment. We're buying as much stuff around here as we possibly can. And if you don't participate and get in, you're just going to miss out on this money that you could make. Drew, what did you pay for your house, your first house?
First house 211.
211. What did you sell it for?
250.
250. What did you pay for your next house?
268.
268. What could you sell it for right now?
At least 380. I think 400.
Okay, so let's go over these numbers again. Well, listen to this. 211, did you say 250? Then 268, now it could sell something for $400,000. The longer you wait to enter this, the harder it's ever going to be to buy a house. And right now, there's an artificial controller of our market. It's kind of like I was telling Ronnie this morning. If we're in the ocean and have you ever heard of a rip current? Have you?
Where it takes you out.
Yeah, you can't do anything about it. The way you get out is you swim sideways. You don't swim into it or back. You swim out of it. Well, right now, we're not even in control. We don't even realize we're not even in control of this market. Like people are like, well, people are going to quit paying this amount for that house. Maybe they are, but the REITs ain't going to stop. They're going to continue, and until I see them deciding to not do this market, they're going to control the price it gets to. And if sooner or later it's going to get to an inflated number, and they're going to be like, well, man, we need to go somewhere else and find a better return. The reason why they're not going anywhere right now is so many people just keep moving here. 13% of all moves were to Nashville in the whole country.
Really?
13% of everybody that moved went to Nashville.
When? This year?
Yes, last year.
Last year?
Yes. Everybody have a great day. Please share the stream. This is just my prediction. Prices are going to continue to be insane unless something does happen. Something may be forming right now that I can't see, but I just feel like if Murfreesboro, Tennessee consumers stop buying, the REITs aren't going to stop buying. Shut us down, Van Grafton.